Hey everybody, it's Vicky with Dementia with Grace. How is everybody doing? I hope y'all are doing great. We are talking today about journaling and the importance of journaling. Not just journaling for your mental health, although that is one of the reasons why I suggest keeping a journal, but also to document the journey of dementia caregiving. To document the day in, day out things that are happening in your life and in the life of the person that you are caregiving for. I believe that it can be transformational to keep a journal of not only your feelings about the process, about the journey. It's a way to vent. We'll talk about that in a second, but also to keep up with just the stuff that's involved in taking care of somebody with dementia. When, how much they're eating, what their routine is like, how things are changing. And you may not see it as you're documenting it, but you will when you look back and look at the progression of the disease, the regression of the person, how that correlates, how you make decisions on care, that kind of thing. So let's talk about journaling. So these are two examples that I use. This, of course, you know, everybody knows me for the flamingos because that's the cover art on my book, Dementia with Grace, A New Positive Way of Dealing with Behaviors in People with Dementia. And I never can get my lighting right on that. But everybody knows that I love flamingos. So this was a gift from a person, and I don't remember which of my group members sent me this, but this is one that I keep up with. Not as a journal, but just as a notebook of my to-do list, basically, is what this is. My journal is this. A 70-page, I think, one subject notebook, wide ruled. Let me turn to the back. I like wide ruled notebook paper. I buy these when they go on sale for back to school, and they're like 10 cents or something. I buy a case of them because I go through them. They don't hold that much. I usually do one a month. And I keep up with all of my stuff that I need to keep up with because I have a seizure disorder. I have a wonky hippocampus. I have trouble encoding new information on the days that I've had seizures. So this is my What Did I Do Today book. This is what this is. This is like a to-do list. This is the to-done list. The I have done list is in here. The things that I would do in a journal, I would definitely journal feelings, how you're feeling about the day, how you're feeling about the journey, how you're feeling about your person, about the relationships you have with the people in your family, all of that kind of stuff. We call it venting for a reason, and I have talked about this in another video. You know how a tea kettle boils? And it would boil over if it didn't have that release valve, that valve for it to vent the steam. So that is what I want you to think about as far as being able to vent your feelings. There is something about being able to put your feelings into words, concrete words, something that is written down so that you can express it. Again, expression, like you can, in medical terms, if you express something, you release something, like if it's a skin issue. We won't go into all that. But if you express a sore, then you get the stuff that's inside out and you give the wound time to breathe, okay? So think of self-expression as getting it out onto paper and letting it breathe, whatever it is. If it's sadness, if it's anger, if it's joy, if it's frustration, if it's relief, whatever it is, get it down on paper. Get it out of your brain and down on paper. Same thing about your to-do list. My to-do list is what's up here that I need to do, so I put it here so that I don't forget it. My mind jumps from thing to thing to thing. It's just the way I work. It's the way I was knitted together. And I have learned that I have to have a place, like a brain dump, to just put everything in. I keep it by my bed because, you know, a lot of times at night you lay there and you think, oh, I forgot to do that. Oh, I need to make this call. I need to do this, this, and this. And if you don't write it down, it won't get done. Well, that's what mine is. Then when I think back on, did I do that? That's in the done book. That's in the green book. So that's kind of some of the things that I do. Some of the things that I do that you could also do is document medical facts. Document temperatures, document weight, document blood sugars, document high blood pressure readings, all of those kinds of things. How they're eating, what their bowel schedule is. Those kind of things you think, I don't know that I really want to be writing down when Daddy last had a bowel movement. Well, it's important. You know, when we talk about the pick'em, the pain, infection, constipation, environment, med change as an impetus for behaviors and unmet needs, constipation is right there in the middle. And the reason it got a letter unto itself is because constipation can cause significant disruptions in a person's life. So if you're wondering, hey, he is just really acting up today, and you've taken a temperature because you're wondering if there might be an infection, you can't figure that out, and then you think, oh, you know what? He hadn't had a bowel movement this week. I wonder if it's that. And then you can move. I was going to say you can move. You can move in that direction to get something going to intervene in that. So there's lots of reasons to journal. There's lots of good reasons to journal. And it doesn't have to be anything very involved. Now, if you want to create a whole bullet journal and all of that kind of stuff, those are great. They are fabulous. But I know my mind, I would get tied into and bogged down by trying to make my journal look better than everybody else's journal, or at least as good as everybody else's journal. And so I know I would get bogged down in those details. So I just use a 70-page notebook because it's so accessible, and I don't have to worry about it being pretty. I don't have to worry about if I have to scribble. I don't have to worry about if I misspell a word or something like that. I don't know if you're like that, but I'm like that, and if I messed up a pretty journal, I would just want to start over. So I don't keep pretty journals. So in recap, the things that you can use a journal for: your feelings, your wishes, your concerns, your desires, your just day-to-day brain dump of this is how I felt about what happened today. And it doesn't matter if you're a hands-on day-to-day caregiver where you are physically cooking the meals, changing the bed, all of those kind of things, or you're a distance caregiver where you are having to call in and get from your sister what's going on, or get from the care facility what's going on. When you get those reports, you can document them in your journal so that you can look back and say, oh, you know what, this time last year he went through with congestion and pneumonia and things like that. Or, this time last week, he was upset about this, or this. I mean, it's just a way to memorialize what is going on in your life and in the life of the person that you care for. So journaling is so important, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. That's the biggest point too that I really wanted to make, is that it doesn't have to be pretty. Nobody else is usually going to see it, and you can have it be what you need it to be to document the journey that you're on. One day you could turn around and decide you want to write a book, and the information in that journal would be, it would be so valuable to you. So if you keep a journal, please let me know down below. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. There's buttons and things and all of that. There's links and all of that, ways to subscribe to my channel. I try to do at least 2 videos a week. Sometimes I meet that goal, sometimes I do not. Sometimes I am very fluent and I make more than 2. But I do try to do some new content on this channel each and every week to support you as you travel this journey. If you need a group, please come over to Facebook. We are the Dementia with Grace Caregiver Support Group over on Facebook. I always put a link down here just so that you have a group of people that know what you're going through. Not only can you commiserate and celebrate with them, you can say, hey, you know, Daddy is not eating, Mama's having a swallowing problem, I can't get Uncle to change clothes, he wants to wear the same thing over and over and over. I've got videos about that, but that group can also come alongside you and give you good tips and pointers about how to manage whatever is going on in your journey. Okay? All right. I'll see you in the next video. Love y'all. Bye. Mwah.